What's up? Hi there. Papa Bear's in the house, and you know what? I don't know why I'm always happy on Mondays. I mean, I just like everybody else, I usually have the weekends off, or like most people, not everybody, but I have the weekends off, and for whatever reason, I just don't have a problem with Mondays. It is what it is. You can't stop them. They're not going to go away. So why not be a happy person like me? But I get it. You have that time off, and you think, I just want to not have to be at work this morning. But, every day's work for me, so that's how it goes. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Tons of, I don't know if they're like breaking news stuff, but there's a whole bunch of shit going on over the weekend. And a lot of it has to do with obviously a lot of it has to do with the new president, because he's coming out banging with them executive orders. And I'm like, oh my God, it makes me have to cough. But so anyway, we're just gonna, I got so many tabs open. I think I'm just gonna touch on things quick and let you read the articles, because I will put them in the description when I'm done, like I always do. And I hope that's helpful for some of you, because I know some of you like to go back and use them for other things. So, that's what we'll do today, like we do every Monday or every weekday or whatever. I'm happy you're here, and we'll talk right after we play the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, Americans. Welcome to the morning. Well, no, not just Americans. I have an international audience. Welcome, inhabitants of the world. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Monday, the 25th of January, 2021. Unless you live on the other side of the international date line, that is the day where I am, and right now, that's where I'm speaking to you from. So anyway, let's say you know what? I'm going to get right into the hellos, because I got so many things to touch on today. And I'm not going to get too deep into any story, but just hopefully I won't go off on too many tangents. I literally have, I think, 30 tabs open for stories. So it's just one of those days. Oh my gosh, right off the bat, though, donations. Thank you, Attack Alpaca, for the first donation of the day via Streamlabs. I should probably push this up. And thank you, Attack Alpaca, through Streamlabs. It says, I know the audience here isn't the biggest pro football audience in the world, but I have to vent. Between Brady winning and the Bills losing last night's championship games were pretty depressing. Well, I don't know if I should put a clap on there, or I could put one of these. Gotcha, bitch. Oh, no, that's not the right one. I'm sorry, Attack Alpaca. Thank you so much for the donation. I will give you a ring just for the appreciation of the donation, and thanks for being a part of the show. Interesting sports weekend. We saw Conor McGregor get knocked the fuck out, and the Bills, unfortunately. I was rooting for the Bills just because I have a very good friend who grew up in Buffalo, and that's who he was cheering for. Although growing up in Omaha, you saw the Chiefs and the Vikings and the Broncos all the time. So the kid is awesome. Brady is the man. Okay, he's going for his 10th Super Bowl, and I'm not a fan of Brady, but you gotta appreciate the legend, and he is that, going to his 10th Super Bowl, more than any other player. I don't think anyone's had 10. And I didn't have a favorite in either game. I would have been happy to see the Packers win, although I'm not a Packer fan. I would be happy to see the Tampa Bay win. I'd have been happy to see the Chiefs win. I would have been happy to see the Bills win. And a couple decent games, and we got the legend versus the future legend, because the two great quarterbacks in the Super Bowl this year. It's going to be interesting. My prediction, well, you can put your prediction in the chat as I scroll down, but I still think the Chiefs, we'll see how, if Mahomes is 100% or if he's going to play. But I feel like the Chiefs, even if I don't know. The Tampa Bay defense is pretty damn good too, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see what happens. But I'm going to predict the Chiefs winning. Anyway, so there you go. There's my sports ball. And then Conor McGregor. I didn't see the fight. I did not see the post-fight interview. But I saw the meme, which is my thumbnail today. If you haven't seen the thumbnail for today's show, funniest thing I've seen on the internet in a while. Anyway, thank you, Attack Pack. All right, let's say good morning, everybody. First in the chat today was Sheograph with the Howdy Bigots. And also good morning, Maddie and Ronan, probably in the background. I hope you're having safe travels. Good morning, Tyler F., James PFP, TC Ball, Mike Savage, Blarg. Yes, it's a blue M still. Maybe sometimes it takes a while for those avatar things to change. Good morning. Oh, Maddie's on here in two different ways, too. So maybe Ronan is on the other Maddie handle. Anyway, good morning also. Select a boy.
Yeah, boy.
And also, I got to scroll down a ways here. James Colley, who says, hurry up and get on with it. I try to stay at the time that I say that I'm going to start. And in fact, I think I'm going to start lengthening my standby, because I figured out that if you have about a 10 to 15 minute standby, people don't mind checking in and coming at the right time, but you're more likely to get a notification if you put a 10 to 20 minute standby. So we'll decide how that goes. But anyway, also good morning to I gotta scroll to get that further down. Atheist Icon, who did the first donation of the day. Legit Low Talker, what's happening? Katie did skate. What's up, my friend? Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. Chicago Mike, good morning. Let's see. Matt, are you in here three different ways? Anyway, Anna Lynn, good morning. Jesse Leon, hi there. Michael Hatfield, what's up? Jonathan Peterson, hi to you also. Let's see, F and Mechi, I got it. And Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house also. That's it. There's a whole bunch of people here, and unless this jumped, I've said hello to everybody. See, it jumped again. It always does that. Good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Good morning, Cindy Rochelle. I'll just scroll back up to see who I missed. I kind of think I got everyone that's in the chat. A few people lurking, that's fine too. Cultist4, what's up? If I missed you, just say something in the chat, or throw a nickel in the mason jar, or whatever. Oh wait, there's another one. Hyman Lineman. That's hard to say fast. Hyman, as in high man. Lineman, not Hyman like you know what I mean. Anyway, hello everybody, and I'm glad you're here. All right, let's get into it now. As I was looking at, oh my gosh, all kinds of notifications here. By the way, thank you to, let's see, Mike Savage, Tyler F. Oh wait, Jack Cochran, Tyler F, Cindy Rochelle, Cynical Lindsay, Maddie, for all tweeting out the show today. It really helps if you guys share the stream. You can do that in the description. There's an arrow down here that you can go hit the share, and you can put it on whatever social media, or you can just do it on Twitter. Mine's a Gab, not Parler. I got to change that. I got to change my background. You know, I'm due for a scenic upgrade here. So I may be changing this around a little bit. And also I'm due to change my, change my intro and outro and all that stuff. So, well, the intro, I still have the same intro since the very first show 2 years ago. I should probably upgrade that. I have different facial hair than then. I know that, and obviously the scenery is different. So maybe I should upgrade my intro. I might even have my daughter narrate or be do the voiceover for that. She's pretty good at that kind of stuff. And then what else was I saying? Oh, I see. Some of you liked the thing, but anyway, share the stream. That really helps. And then if you like what we do, you hit the like button sometime during the show, and donations through Streamlabs, Super Chats, and some other stuff down at the bottom, Cashapp and Venmo. But no one's ever done that. But that's okay. I have them there because I know some people prefer or would like to have that option. So whatever, I'm cool. It's a free show. Enjoy it while you're here. And thanks for coming to the show on a regular. So a whole bunch of stuff I bookmarked a whole bunch of stuff, and then I got like I said, I got 30 tabs open. I should close this one though. This one's useless. All right. So I want to get into just some funny things about our new president that I've been finding humorous, because we've found several threads. So I showed you this thread. If you were here on Saturday, I showed you this Twitter thread of the what's going on, as in things that are kind of contradictory. Oh, by the way, Attack Alpaca.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
I almost forgot that. I got to remember that, because I even remembered to reset the donor ticker thingy there up in the top of the screen. Anyway, so I always have a ton of tabs up. Yeah, I'm like way over the norm today though. It is crazy. So this thing, because now you know how you get the. Is it hagiography? How do you say that? Hagiography? When they all of a sudden the media is trying to put the person they like in the realm of angels. Let's put it that way. And so the media loving themselves some Joe Biden. We got the New York Times with this lovely headline. Let's see how big it is so you can see it a little better. President Biden is perhaps the most religiously observant commander-in-chief in half a century. A different, more liberal Christianity grounds his life and policies. Oh, he's so special. And then, but anyway, the New Yorker says, President Joe Biden's non-doctrinaire Catholicism is driving comparisons to Pope Francis, who has vexed traditionalist U.S. bishops much the way Biden has. They're comparing him to the fucking Pope. Can Joe Biden save American Catholicism from the far right? Now, the Pope, if you haven't heard, the Pope has sent an edict to some of the to American Catholic bishops. They've told them to lay off the Pope himself has told him to kind of lay off of Joe Biden. Like, be nice to Joe Biden. Don't get too mad about Joe Biden, because, you know, the church isn't really thrilled with Democrats who, champion like abortion and other things that the church doesn't like. But the Pope himself has told him to take a chill pill when it comes to Joe Biden, to the Catholic Bishops' Conference. I don't get it. But anyway, good morning, tall person, by the way. Grillin' Pirate Pete, what's up? Sean DW, what's up? Or just Sean. I know you like me to just call you Sean, but I always say Sean DW, because I don't say the 175. I just, Sean DW. You never know, in case there's another Sean that comes in. But you're the only Sean to me, Sean. Anyway, also, I thought this was a good observation by our friend Cat Turd. And if you're not familiar with Cat Turd on Twitter, Cat Turd is an author, and I don't know why he calls himself Cat Turd, but he is an author and a writer. He's kind of a funny dude, and he's a kind of a Trump troll. In fact, he described himself as the impeached 46 turd who talks shit. And he has a parody book out called The Adventures of Cow Fart, and a sci-fi novel called Rabbit Skin. Anyway, he said, this is a good observation. Have you noticed conservatives are still happy, joking, laughing, and having a blast on Twitter? And even after Grandpa Earpiece was inaugurated, liberals are even more bitter, angry, rage-filled, and miserable. Isn't that the damn truth? Isn't that the truth? I mean, you know, I don't know why they're so... oh, what? Shut up, Joe Biden. I don't know why liberals are still mad, even though they're guys there. Maybe it's because we're making fun of his guy. I don't know. Funny to even pretend Biden is a saint, knowing that he has a holy nose for sniffing. Yes, he does. Oh, by the way, thank you, Chicago Mike, through Streamlabs, of the everybody's favorite. Well, it's Lady Boomer's favorite, the 420 donation, who says, do we have a count and how many heads Biden has sniffed so far as president? You know, that's a good question. They should, you know how the Washington Post had the lie ticker for Donald Trump? Maybe someone should come up with a head sniff ticker, but you'd have to watch Biden an awful lot to see it happen. But yeah, a head sniff ticker, I don't know. That's a great question, Chicago Mike. Thank you so much for the donation there. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let me get through the bookmarks first, and then we'll go to the other stuff. This one, oh, did you see this? This was kind of funny. So on Inauguration Day, I don't know if any of you noticed. I didn't notice because I didn't watch the inauguration shit. Hang on. Here's the report from Inside Edition, though. You'll like this. Here's the report. Because Biden. Oh, they fired a bunch of people. But anyway, here just watch the report. You'll get it.
Awkward. There are the Bidens standing in the cold.
Oh, can you even hear that? I don't think you can. Hang on. Let me put some audio on here. Good morning, Ebony Williams, by the way. Here we go. Now we got some audio. Let's try it now.
Awkward. There are the Bidens standing in the cold, waiting to be let into their new home, the White House. Everyone wondered what was going on. Why were the doors shut? Well, now we know. The chief usher who was supposed to open the door was fired. Timothy Harleth was hired by the Trumps in 2017 after he had worked for them at the Trump International Hotel in D.C. But the Bidens reportedly wanted a chief usher with no ties to Trump. So Harleth was fired at 11:30 a.m., just as the inauguration ceremony was getting underway.
Oh no! So they couldn't get the White House because the head usher of the White House. Shut up! Hey, hold on. The head usher was fired at 11:30 just before inauguration, and so they didn't have anyone to let him in the White House. Oh, it's just funny. It's not. I should say it's sad, but it's just one. It was, and it's not a big deal. I could see this happening to. I could have seen it happening to Trump. I could have seen it happening to George W. Bush. Probably wouldn't happen to Barack Obama because, well, what the hell is that? Anyway, so that was funny. Well, yeah. Heavens forbid they opened the door. Well, no, here's the problem. The door's locked. They have to have somebody let them in. So anyway, Biden is actively trying to kill people in the U.S., raising insulin prices. Last I knew, one vial of insulin was over $300. Yeah, that was the Trump directive that would have caused insulin prices to come down. Biden signed it away with executive orders. This executive order thing is very concerning. Very concerning. He's writing a lot of shit away. Let's see. Oh, this was a good thread by Glenn Greenwald. You know what? I should probably make that a separate tag here. Hang on a second, because this thread by Glenn Greenwald talking about Amazon and Parler is very interesting, and I'll put it down here. The ACLU in New York Times. Oh, in the New York Times, they wrote an op-ed on why the Union of Silicon Valley monopolies, Apple, Google, and Amazon, to remove Parler from the internet is so problematic. Now, while the ACLU is just largely a liberal pressure group now, they still have some real civil liberties lawyers. And here's the thing. The Parler situation is troubling. That was because Apple and Google's removal of Parler from their app stores and Amazon's halting its web hosting went beyond what Twitter or Facebook would do, or what Twitter and Facebook do when they curtail a user's account or their post, he said. I think we should recognize the importance of neutrality where we're talking about the infrastructure of the internet. Yeah, and because Amazon has such a massive hold, like I think 70 or 80% of the hosting is now done by Amazon company. Anyway, tech monopolies, Facebook, Google, and Amazon, Apple, and Amazon have more concentrated wealth and power than any in history. They have used brute force 3 times in 3 months to manipulate U.S. politics, censoring the New York Post, banning Trump, and destroying Parler. And liberals are overwhelmingly supportive of this textbook fascism. Did I say hi to Ebony? I think I said hi to you. Why didn't we hire somebody else before firing the other guy? I don't know. I don't know. They didn't think, oh, if we fire this guy, he's the only guy who could let us in. Anyway. So anyway, I'm going to leave the tab, excuse me, of this thread because there's several articles within the thread, but it's a great thread. Him basically telling you why we need some relief from these. We need some relief from the big tech companies. Hello, Renee. How you doing? My fave is Amazon doesn't want to use mail-in voting or unionization. Oh my God. Who was it? Somebody got a. It was Jack Prosobiec tweeted about that. So Amazon, owned by Jeff Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post, so their employees are trying to vote on having a union. And Amazon is demanding that they have an in-person vote rather than a mail-in union ballot because there's not enough security in mail-in voting. Oh, wait a minute. Jeff Bezos, owner of the Washington Post, who said, oh, no, mail-in voting is completely safe, but not for his own union election. Anyway, but if there's not hypocrisy in the world, there's just not. Anyway, let's see. Let me just finish up the tabs here, and then I'm going to get into some of the articles. Let me get new Twitter, back to bookmarks. Because like I said, today it's all about just touching on each story. Reach out and touch somebody's hand and make the world a better place if you can. Okay, I'm going to stop singing. Anyway, good morning, Gabriel Valide. Good morning, Special K on Acid. Glad you're here. Yes, I am. More than that. And more than that. What were the other? Let's see. Let me check the other bookmarks. Oh, well, I have this. Let's see. I have that article open. Never mind. Oh, Brian Stelter. And I have the article open for this one. But this was, I found this ironic. And I thought it was really important that I touch on this one today. Reach out and okay, stop it. Brian Stelter, of all people, tweets this today in an article on CNN about it. All across right-wing media, the Biden bashing has been turned up to 11 and 12 and 13. Any lack of self-awareness there, Bri? Huh? What network do you work for, Brian? What's that? AYN FKM. Are ya? Does he remember any of the last 4 years? And in fact, it's not even over. It's not even over. They're still. I don't. Oh my gosh! When I saw that, that was the first thing I think I replied to that saying, "You definitely lack self-awareness." Let's see. Also, another one. Oh, and then Margaret Sullivan. I think I have this whole thread open. Yeah, I do. So Margaret Sullivan from the New York Times. Now there's a push to get Fox News removed from cable companies. She writes an editorial. Fox News is a hazard to our democracy. I'll show you that in a minute, but it's so all of these media companies are trying to get their competitors canceled by claiming that Fox News is part of the cause of the so-called insurrection. This is them trying. And I don't watch Fox News. I stopped watching the corporate media, a while ago. I'll see clips from CNN. I'll see clips from Fox News. I'll see clips from MSNBC. But I stopped watching the news channels. But if you think about it, even when Fox News was number one, right now their ratings are in the shitter. But even when they were the number one cable news network or the number one news network, they still only had a tiny percent of the market share of all news. Between CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, NPR, CBS, and all the others. Even though they were the number one rated network, their market share was, but they are so busy demonizing Fox News. And now she is advocating, basically boycotting their advertisers, pressuring their advertisers to stop advertising with them, and all the and basically pressuring cable companies, the cable providers to drop them from their lineups. And I think what they're doing, they're seeing blood in the water because a lot of conservatives are not watching Fox News anymore because they're mad at them. But they're also trying to deplatform OAN and Newsmax and the alternatives that people have gone to. But do they even look in the mirror at some of the stuff they do themselves? And it's funny because some of the same people who would talk about fairness doctrine, we should bring back the fairness doctrine. Do they really understand what the fairness doctrine was? Because the fairness doctrine required companies to show both sides, so to speak. And so they're fighting to have Fox News do both sides, or require them to have an equal number of Democrats and Republicans on their channels, but they don't themselves. So it's amazing. Good morning, Data Wasteland, Gamer Valine, and Fight for Your Rights. Nice to see you here. Anyway, I'll hit that. I'll touch that article in a minute. Oh, this is interesting. Here, let's put this back on the screen. Does this fit here? Yeah, it does. So Bernie Sanders is saying that the Senate may use budget reconciliation to pass a Biden agenda. That's an interesting concept there. Oh, real quick, thank you, Gamer Valine, who said, you lacked the flamboyance of Totally Straight Stelter. He's just fabulous. Well, when I do my Brian Stelter, I just think that it's important that I just try to keep it straight as possible. Oh, anyway. They're going after Fox News, a corrupt news organization that most conservatives have abandoned. They want Fox News banned. Oh, the irony. Yeah, it's kind of funny that because conservatives have been abandoning Fox News. But also because Fox News has beaten them over the head for so long, I think they see it's their chance to not have conservatives push back on them banning a news channel. And, you know, and that's funny because in this thread, okay, let me go back to this thread. So here's her with her article in the Washington Post. And then she puts a couple other things. She has Media Matters down here, a couple of other things. Here's a list of Fox's biggest advertisers trying to put pressure on their advertisers. Then there's a piece by Eric Bollert, who used to work for Media Matters, but now has his own liberal spinoff of, you know, basically a Media Matters by himself called Press Run. Then they have what she put down here. And then here's a really important element I didn't address. Your cable satellite TV provider pays a subscriber fee to carry Fox News. That cost is passed on directly to you. Well, you realize not only fucking liberal libtards, dumbasses, Democrats, I'm redundant here. I shouldn't say that because not everyone is. But anyway, they're not the only one who subscribe to cable. In fact, I bet more conservatives subscribe to cable than others. And you know what? Try and take Fox News off of cable. See what happens. But yeah, they're demanding that Comcast and Xfinity unfox my cable box. And then Max Boot, the neocon jackass, Lincoln Project bullshit, fake conservative asswipe. I don't know if I used enough adjectives there. If Fox won't stop peddling sedition, really, motherfucker? Sedition? Then large cable companies such as Comcast and Charter Spectrum, which carry Fox and provide much of its revenues in the form of user fees, needs to step in and kick Fox off. And is that a Trump couldn't have incited sedition without the help of Fox News. Oh, we're in that incitement thing. This is from January 18th. Kiss my big fat ass. Anyway, good morning. Thank you, Chicago Mike, with the $4.99 through YouTube Super Chat. It says pot, kettle, black. Which channel is a threat to democracy? Yeah. Oh, right now, Margaret Sullivan in the New York Times. So in a democracy, I'm sorry, are we allowed to have a different opinion in a democracy? Are we allowed to have completely dissenting opinions in democracy? Are we allowed, you know, it's funny. So the First Amendment was really put to the test when Thomas Jefferson ran against John Adams. It was probably one of the dirtiest presidential campaigns you could ever imagine. There were publications, and it was all print publications just printing just bald-faced lies about each candidate. And yet, no one came in after that election and said, you know what? We need to shut down these lying publications. Let's say that Fox News told nothing but lies. So, we have the First Amendment. And what some people consider lies is just, we don't like what they say. We don't like the fact that they don't put pronouns in their bios. Well, fuck right off, right? I'm just saying. Anyway, check out. By the way, thank you, Chicago Mike, by the way. And I think we're, let's see here. Yeah, we're still there. And also, thank you, Cindy Rochelle with the 223, who says, everybody please check out my painting entitled A Peaceful Protest on Discord. Yeah, if you're on the Discord server, Cindy put up a picture of, what's his name? The guy who was reporting from in front of the fire. Melber, Ari Melber. Is that his name? Which is very nice painting that you should go check out on Discord. It's pretty cool. Good morning, Chadwick Dupree, by the way. Welcome to the show. So anyway, yeah, so this hoe, Margaret Sullivan, is she's full court pressing, trying to get rid of Fox News. Margaret Sullivan, you are a hazard to our democracy. And F right off. FTG. Ali Velshi. Thank you. Ali Velshi. I couldn't remember his name. Oh man, use any of the phrase shot down. Needs an audio clip. Yoo-hoo. I'll make you famous. Did I say, did I use the phrase shot down? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. F this hoe. I'm sorry. Back to Sanders, though. Sanders said the Senate may use budget reconciliation.
Starts on New Year.
What the hell is that? Oh, reconciliation. Oh, that's an ad in the page. But budget reconciliation to pass Biden agenda. Bernie Sanders, Vermont, the incoming Senate Budget Committee chairman. Yeah. Oh, is there anything on the planet? Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I should have just done this in the first place. Here. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do that. Hang on. I want to put up Cindy's picture here. Let me see if I can. Okay, hang on. I'll try to do that at the end. Okay. First of all, I got off track here. Is there anything more frightening in the United States of America right now than the fact that Senator Bernie Sanders is the Senate Budget Committee chairman? Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, the incoming Senate budget.
Oh my goodness.
What the hell? Get off my ear.
This is perfect.
Shut up. Where's that?
$4.99? No way. Wow.
Okay. I have no idea where that came. There's ads popping up on this Hill station. Anyway. All right, let me try this again. I'm going to try it one more time and see if I can do it without getting interrupted. Unless it's by a donation. I'll take interruptions for donations. That's okay. But other than that, I have this blocked for the most part, but somehow it's getting through. The incoming Senate Budget Committee chairman said on Sunday that Senate Democrats would use a tactic known as budget reconciliation to pass parts of President Biden's agenda if Republicans refuse to support Biden's plans. Speaking on CNN State of the Union, Sanders welcomed the prospect of Republican support for the president's plan for an economic recovery package in response to the COOF pandemic, but warned that the GOP had set a precedent with its use of the tactic which allows senators to approve certain tax spending bills with a simple majority and sidestepped the 60-vote threshold needed for most legislations due to fake filibusters. I said that myself while President Trump was in office. You know, here's the thing. They're talking about they're talking about getting rid of the filibuster anyway, which would make everything just a majority in the Senate. And, you know, because basically the 60-vote threshold's not needed for the legislation. It's for cloture, for stopping debate on legislation. And it's been used in a poorly used way because they, used to be way back when Ku Klux Klan member Robert Byrd was in the Senate, for example, as a young senator from West Virginia. Is that where he's from? Where when you had a filibuster, you actually had to filibuster, meaning you had to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk as long as you could about something until the Senate voted to close debate. But in the last 20, 30 years, they've made it just so, well, we don't want to close debate, but we don't want to sit around here and waste our time. So we're just going to say, okay, we need a 60-vote threshold to close debate. And if we don't have it, then we're just going to recess and try something else. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be tedious. A filibuster is supposed to be boring and like, for example, I think Ted Cruz actually did a real filibuster a few years ago. And like he was on the floor talking for like, I think 20 hours straight. I don't know. But anyway, or read Dr. Seuss books. Yeah, I think he was reading out of a Dr. Seuss book and all that stuff. Math is racist. What? Do the math? Okay, anyway. Oh, installed ad blocker less than 48 hours ago and it already stopped 850 ads. Well, I just use the one that comes naturally on my browser, but I don't use it. It doesn't block everything. Anyway, so now Bernie Sanders said, well, they're going to just use the reconciliation process to get around that. Anyway, now, as you know, reconciliation, which is a Senate rule, was used by the Republicans under Trump to pass massive tax breaks for the rich and corporations. This is Bernie Sanders. It was used as an attempt to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And what we're saying is that you used for that, that's fine. We're going to use reconciliation. You did it. We're going to do it to protect ordinary people, not the rich and powerful. Whatever. It's a tactic they're going to use to try to pass shit. But usually reconciliation has to be done. It can only be done on things that are budgetary. So I don't know. It's interesting. If I'm going to pay 60% taxes, why stay here? Why not go to a country that lays it out for me? Not bullshit codes in the U.S. where I'm fucking guessing. You know what? Gabriel, I'm a flat tax person. I think you should be able to do your taxes on a postcard unless you have some really difficult stuff. Most people should be able to do it just like that. But anyway, I don't know what I'm off that. All right, let's move on because I got a ton of stuff today. Interesting article in New York Post today. Which if you were here Saturday, I talked about this a lot. I spent most of my time on Friday, on COVID related stuff. But I just found it funny that the New York Post put this article out. Biden's 1 million shots a day COVID-19 goal was already reached by Trump. President Biden's wartime effort goal to vaccinate 100 million people against COVID-19 in 100 days relies on a daily average that was repeatedly bested under former President Donald Trump. Biden's first full day in office on Thursday saw 1.3 million Americans inoculated against the deadly coronavirus, according to data compiled by Bloomberg News. But the same figures show that 1.3 million shots were administered on January 11th and 1.1 million were given on both January 14th and 16th. Vaccinations also hit a record high, 1.6 million on Wednesday when Biden was sworn into office, according to data. Since his inauguration Wednesday, the new commander-in-chief and his top spokesperson have repeatedly been pressured by reporters on whether he's setting the immunization bar too low. And here's my theory on that. Because, see, they called the current rate of inoculation as a dismal failure. Interesting, but they're doing a million a day already, right? But they set their goal as a million a day. I think they're lowballing. I think they know where they're at, and I think they're just trying to say, well, we set a goal of a million a day, but we're going to we beat it by 2.5 times. Aren't we special? Good morning, humble Clay. Good morning, Amy in Connecticut. Amy, nice to see you back. I don't know if I've seen you for a while, or maybe I have. You know me, my brain doesn't always work, so I'm not sure. But I think it's been a while. I've seen you over at other places, I should say. Anyway, but I just think it's funny that because here's the thing, they put up this fake number we're going to do 100 because you know how Bill Clinton, we're going to have 100,000 new police officers on the ground. Well, we're going to have 100 million vaccinations in 100 days. Oh, what? We're already doing 1 million a day? Oh, I think they did it before they realized they were doing 1 million a day, thinking that, this is special, but we're going to call the old plan a failure. Yeah, whatever. Let's move on. Okay, we already did that one. Oh, and here is Margaret Sullivan. Fox News is a hazard to our democracy. It's time to take the fight to the Murdochs. Here's how. I should use this one once in a while. Anyway, Margaret Sullivan says, now listen, this is funny. This is hilarious. Just the first line of this is hilarious. Margaret Sullivan, who is a media columnist, I happened to be watching Fox News on election night when the network startled the political world by calling Arizona for Joe Biden. Wait a minute. She happened to be watching Fox News? She just happened to be? She's probably, there's people at Media Matters and other networks. Their job is to watch everything on Fox News, like religiously, and then take notes and try to find things that they can throw in Fox News's face. I just happened to be watching Fox News on election night. She was watching it because that's her job. It was a weird moment without the fanfare that usually accompanied the announcement that a state was being put in one column or another. A few hours later, the Associated Press made the same call. But many other news organizations, including the Washington Post, took days to reach that daring conclusion. For them, Arizona's vote count simply remained far too close. Nate Silver, the data-oriented editor of 538, complete loser, even argued that Fox News should rescind its call, that it was too early to make the prediction. And Trump world was enraged. Losing the traditionally red state would make it that much harder to proclaim that the election was so close that it must have in fact been stolen by Democrats. It would disrupt the big lie narrative. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this. Basically, I told you what she's doing here in this article. She's telling you different ways that Fox News is now that after that, there's been people who've been fired from Fox News. Now, not everybody, but different people, because their ratings are going down. And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just the fact that they called Arizona. It suddenly became popular at Fox News to have just odd changes of editorial stance from the news end, which whatever. So she's saying the two key members of Fox News decision desk abruptly departed the network. One was laid off, the other has retired. Some insiders calling it a purge. Apparently a network that specializes in... Oh, this is the line I love. Apparently, at a network that specializes in spreading lies. Oh, is that what they specialize in? I can see it. Their goal and objective in their mission statement is to spread lies. Let's just say she's not a fan of Fox News. There was a price to pay for getting it right. Fox News isn't a news gathering organization, surmises press critic Eric Boehlert. Now, again, Eric Boehlert is a former Media Matters fellow, not just male, but fellow, who started his own right-wing media bashing press site called Press Run. And then he just said, in recent days, Fox has taken a sharp turn toward a more extreme approach as it confronts a post-Trump ratings dip. Extreme? I don't know. I don't watch Fox News. Does anyone watch Fox News? Are they trying to be more right than Newsmax or OAN? I don't know. As some of its furthest right viewers moving to outlets such as Newsmax and One American News, and some middle of the roaders apparently finding CNN and MSNBC more their liking. With profit as the one true religion of Fox. Oh yes, I know that not a single other news station on the planet is concerned about their bottom line at all. Not a bit. Nobody in the media ever cares about if they make money or not. I'm sure that Fox is the only one. something had to change. 89-year-old Rupert Murdoch, according to a number of reports, has stepped in to call the shots more directly. Well, the network was more successful under him. Most notably, the network has decided to add an hour of opinion programming to its primetime offerings. The 7 o'clock hour will no longer be nominally news, but straight up outrage production. Why? Because that's where the ratings are. Anyway, I think they're moving. Yeah, Maria Bartiromo, I think they're moving there. Whose Trump sycophancy during the campaign may well have been unparalleled. She was among those, including Lou Dobbs and Jeannie Pirro, recently forced under threat of a lawsuit to air a video that debunked the repeat false claims on her show that corrupt voting software given millions of Trump votes to Biden. Was that ever? I had a curiosity. Was that ever investigated? Like actually like did it ever go to court like and have witnesses and evidence? I could have sworn all the court cases were thrown out before they even got started. Like they didn't want the judges want nothing to do with these election lawsuits. I can't remember. I could have sworn. Anyway, she goes on and on about how, Fox News, because they're so much opinion journalism, shouldn't be allowed to be on TV. And you could read that article on your own. I'll leave it in the tabs. Moving on. And in fact, here's Brian Stelter. So how long is this? This is 3-4. We can watch this one because ex-GOP strategist Rupert Murdoch is the most dangerous immigrant in America. Okay. Here's Brian Stelter talking about, now this is Brian Stelter being massively what's the word? Douchebag? No, that's just him. No, unself-aware.
Biden seems to understand that right-wing radicalization is a real problem. His team seems to recognize.
Joe Biden seems to understand that right-wing radicalization is a problem.
Is how Fox and Facebook and QAnon fantasies and all of that.
Now listen to that too. It's interesting. He chose to say, he put Fox, Facebook, and QAnon in the same category. Anyway, it's just strange that he did that.
Has caused separate realities in the United States. He said in his inaugural address that he understands many of his fellow Americans view the future with fear and trouble.
Separate reality. So because they cover things that you don't. See, here's one of those things too. I'm not even big on the. Do I believe there's voter fraud? Yes, I think there's plenty. I watched a lot of those hearings from the different states with the witnesses that had evidence that the states just didn't do anything. And so I don't know about the court cases, but do I think the election would have been overturned? Don't know. Have no idea. But I don't recall even one time Brian Stelter, Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon. I don't recall a single time when any of the journalists at CNN ever interviewed or talked to a single witness from all those hearings in the different states. Anyone have an example of that? So for them to say that everything that these people are saying has been debunked or it's been to court. In fact, we'll get a George Stephanopoulos clip here pretty soon. It's already been to court and they've already adjudicated. No, they didn't. The courts refused cases on standing. So I've never seen Brian Stelter interview a single witness from any of those hearings. And so to the fact that, there was like 400 of them. between the 6 states in question. And there's still cases right now pending that haven't made it to the court yet. They haven't made it to the Supreme Court yet. Now, will those cases be thrown out because of standing again? I don't know. But nobody's heard the evidence. Anyway. Back to Brian Stelter.
Trepidation. And again, that's partly because of all the nonsense that's heard every night in prime time over there. But then Biden said this.
I promise you I get it. But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions.
Oh, yes.
Distrusting those who don't look like you.
What?
Or worship the way you do.
What?
Or don't get their news from the same sources you do.
Oh!
We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue.
Oh, yes. And this was the Chris Wallace, the greatest inauguration address I've ever heard of all of them. Yeah. Better than Kennedy's, better than Reagan's second inauguration address, better than either of Barack Obama's. Yes, the best ever Chris Wallace.
His reference to news sources is telling there. He insisted that politics doesn't need to be a raging fire, but that fire is very profitable.
Oh, and you should know, Brian. You should know it's profitable because CNN made a killing off of 4 years of Trump bashing. You started to beat MSNBC finally. You beat Fox News on a few nights even during the last 4 years. And now your 4 years of Trump bashing and hanging on and clinging to it like a baby with a blankie. And with Fox News losing some of their audience, you are making money off of it now. So the idea that you're in a business to make money and you found a formula to make money might not be all that uncommon.
We are seeing Rupert Murdoch's media empire just doubling and tripling down on the fire, on the arson. This week there were layoffs at Fox.
Doubling and tripling down. And what are you doing right now? You're doubling and tripling down on your show that spends all its time bashing Fox News and occasionally OAN and Newsmax, but they haven't quite gotten that high on the radar yet. But you are here trying to get on a coordinated effort with other media, Margaret Sullivan, to get Fox News removed from cable. That's your competition. And you spend a lot of time getting alternative media. That is your competition shut down. And you're trying to get people censored because they're competition for your company's bottom line, Brian. Are you kidding me?
News layoffs on the news side. Journalists were laid off. At the same time, opinion programs took up even more space on the schedule. A Fox staffer telling the Daily Beast there's a concerted effort to get rid of real journalists. But we don't need anonymous sources.
Where are your real journalists, Brian? Remember, what was it? Who's the guy from CNN who said, we don't do investigative reporting? Huh. I thought, well, what? So you just have talking heads reading the lines that written for them, or giving their opinions like Brian Stelter? Good Lord, what are you talking about, Brian?
Just to tell us that we can see it on the air. Listen to how stars on Fox and Newsmax have been describing the new administration, beginning with Greg Kelly saying Fox. He is not wishing.
Fox and Newsmax. Wait a minute. Listen to how, what do you say? Listen, let me go back here. Listen to how.
In the air. Listen to how stars on Fox and Newsmax have been describing the new administration, beginning with Greg.
Opinion journalists? You mean the opinion journalist? not the news people, not just the straight news people, the opinion people. I'm going to have a question after he runs this little montage.
Greg Kelly saying he is not wishing Biden well at all.
Somebody on that's someone on Newsmax said that? Gee, have we heard anything like that before? I bet we have.
I wish Joe Biden no success.
Biden's hollow calls for unity are both laughable and completely disingenuous. Total and complete BS.
You thought you voted for a moderate? You got a radical. Here we go.
The weak, the frail, the cognitively struggling Biden.
No, these are all the opinion people on Fox.
Attempting to ram his party's radical socialist agenda right down America's throats.
This is a clown car of hypocrisy.
Oh, that's a Newsmax. Now, it's interesting because he's going back and forth between Fox and Newsmax. Well, what Newsmax is not Fox, and Fox is not Newsmax. But he's going back for, and then is this I don't even know what channel that
Foreigners First agenda that is sure to usher in economic Armageddon.
So he so he's bitching about Fox, but he had to go to 3 different networks to get enough sound bites for his example here. Way to go, Brian.
Indulgent, self-righteous goofballs they are.
Oh, hey, you said it, Laura. Did you catch how Hannity described Biden there? He's weak, he's frail, but he's also ramming things down your throat.
I just thought I'd let that sit there for a second. Oh, Brian probably knows a couple things about that. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
It's violent and sexual and pathetic.
Oh,
all the same.
Brian's getting excited here, I think. What the hell? It's violent and it's sexual. No, wrong. Maybe we're like, I just figured out what I need to add to my soundboard here. Some sexy music. It's wait a minute, let me go back here. Here we go. I'll fix this.
Self-indulgent, self-righteous goofballs they are.
Oh, hey, you said it, Laura. Did you catch how Hannity described Biden there? He's weak, he's frail, but he's also ramming things down your throat. It's violent and sexual and pathetic all at the same time.
Okay, sorry, I can't help it.
And when those attacks are not enough, and I want to be clear, that is a 24/7 narrative on multiple channels.
Really, Brian? What's your 24/7 narrative on your channel? What was your 24/7 narrative on CNN for the last 4 years? What was yours, Brian? You're so self-unaware. It's amazing. And I'm not saying that he's incorrect on what Fox News does. They're opinion people, for this in the back who didn't hear me say it the first 2 times, are critical of Joe Biden. They disagree with his policies and his ideas and his executive orders and the fact that he's having someone with a puppet hand in the back of up his ass telling him what to say. They're an opinion people. Okay, so let me ask you something. Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, Anderson Cooper, on your network, spent 4 years doing nothing but bash Trump every day. Calling him a racist, homophobe, transphobe, xenophobe. And So the famous words pot, meat, kettle. I don't watch either of them because you know what? I just want to find out what things are happening. But I'll watch the clips. That's an unfortunate pause, isn't it? Look at that smile. Ugh.
Every day, every hour.
Every day, every hour, just like CNN.
These channels are more
If you ever watch CNN during the day, the so-called news people, sure inject an awful lot of opinion in their newscasts. 24/7, Brian. Look at the monitor once in a while. I was going to say mirror, but look at your monitor once in a while. See what's happening on your network. You know, the one thing is when the guy who used to do reliable sources before, Howard Kurtz, when this show that Brian does, it's supposed to be a media criticism show. And at least when Howard Kurtz was doing the show, he talked about media besides Fox News. Namely, he talked about his own network. He talked about MSNBC. He talked about the newspapers. He talked about everybody. And it wasn't a 24/7 Fox News bashing show like Brian Stelter. It's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Democrat than they are pro-Trump. And the Biden bashing has been turned up to 11 and 12 and 13.
Oh, yeah, I know, because nobody ever. No, I don't think anyone ever said an unkind word about President Donald Trump, ever.
So has the media bashing, by the way. Take a look at just some of the banners. Media bashing.
Oh, what are you doing right now, Brian? Brian, what you doing right now? Fox, a major media outlet, bashes the media 24/7. Brian, you do realize the media company you're bashing right now is also media that you bash every day. Now,
from Fox's air in the past few days. Fox, a huge member of the national news media, pretending like it's not a member of the media at all, claiming that the media is out to praise Biden, fawn over Biden. He's the media's messiah.
He kind of is right now.
Every hour, every day. That's the narrative. And it's going to be like this.
Brian, what is your narrative? What was your narrative the last 4 years? Enough of this asshole. Anyway, I'll leave that tab up, though. Interesting in the New York Post. Now, this has gotten some pushback on Twitter because the people are laughing that this guy Josh Hawley is talking about the muzzling of conservatives, but he's on the front page of the New York Post, which makes it ironic. But anyway, thank you, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. For the donation via Streamlabs, who says, today on Days of Our Capital, many low-info voters are regretting their votes for Biden, like how a woman regrets changing her sex. There are a lot of people not happy with a lot of these union members that the pipe fitters union. They are not happy about their endorsement of Joe Biden right now, since with the fracking ban and the Dakota Access Pipeline losing its permanence and all that stuff. Yeah, there's some people out there wishing that they had made different choices. Good morning, Moon-Based Radio. Good morning, Jason Arnold and Scotty Dubs. What's happening? All right, Josh Hawley wrote an article or a editorial in the New York Post, which, like I said, some people are bashing it just because, complaining about conservatives being muzzled, but you're on the front page of the New York Post. Well, yeah, doesn't work that way for all, Brian. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way for all conservatives because they're not U.S. senators. But anyway, and I thought it was pretty good. It's not too long, so we're going to go through this one. Have you checked your social credit score lately? You might want to. Mine seems to have taken a nosedive this month Dive this month, you might want to see how yours is doing. Everyone knows what a credit score is, but social credit scores are new. They're the latest corporate import from communist China, where government and big business monitor every citizen's social views and statements. Notice he says we're government and big business monitor every citizen's social views and statements. Fascism. They are the latest form of cancel culture in this country as corporate monopolies and the left team up to shut down speech they don't like and force their political agenda on America. For those who still believe in free speech and the First Amendment, this is the time to take a stand. Like the old-fashioned kind of credit score, your social credit requires a lot of maintenance. You'll need to get good grades in school and stay out of trouble with the law, but that's just the start. You have to earn your right to live in polite society these days. So if you want to get a good job, stay at hotels, and be served at restaurants, you will need to do a few other things. You'll need to voice the right opinions. You will need to endorse the right ideas. You will need to conform. That's what the corporate chieftains tell us anyway. They tried to reprimand me this month because I didn't. On behalf of the voters of my state, I raised a challenge to the presidential electors in Pennsylvania after that state conducted the election in violation of the state's constitution. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. But whatever your view, corporate America's rush to cancel those who dislikes should trouble you. In my case, it started with leftist politicians demanding I resign from office for representing the views of my constituents and leading the Democratic debate on the floor of the Senate. Taking that cue, a corporate publishing house then canceled a book and asked me to write. Ironically enough, the book is about political censorship by the most powerful corporations in America and will be published by an independent publishing house. Now, corporate America is Now, corporate America is canceling my political events because two parties are apparently one too many for their taste. It will get worse. The tech titans have already booted dozens of conservatives off social media, and if they have their way, half the House Republicans conference will be expelled from Congress. The corporate titans seem to believe that the only way to get a democracy to their liking is to eliminate all threats to the Democratic Party's unified form of control of government. The alliance of leftists and woke capitalists hopes to regulate the innermost thoughts of every American from school age to retirement, and they've trained enforcers of the woke orthodoxy to monitor dissent or misbehavior. A Karen who cuts the wrong person off in traffic gets followed home on a live stream and shamed into crying for mercy as her license plate is broadcast to an online horde eager to hound her out of a job. Everyone knows it can happen to them, so everyone shuts down. The circle of trust narrows. Conversations, too easily recorded, shift to encrypted messaging apps. For now, unless those get banned too for interfering in efficient social credit markets. For some time, conservatives recognizing that we're now the counterculture indulged in the delusion that we could just opt out of all this. We send our kids to schools that don't teach all the woke stuff. We make friends at church, not at work, and take comfort that trust and openness were still possible in communities for shared purpose. We'd vote our conscience because the ballot box was something no election could take from us. And if ever our political organizing were impeded by censorship, say by the big tech giants, we could build our own platforms. I check your logic. But the left and the corporations are challenging all of this now. Your, quote, conservative, end quote, social platform isn't worth much when Amazon can shut it down. Your vote may still be yours, but if your party is denied the means to effectively organize by corporate monopolies, it's not going to win. Your church, well, you could still attend for now, but go to the wrong church and you may not have a job in a few years. But here's the good news. The cancel culture agenda will only exceed if we let it. We need to live in fear only if we choose to say nothing. In this time of testing, conservatives must not shrink back. We need to stand up for the right of every American to be heard. We need to stand up for the basic principles that join all Americans together. The right to speak freely, to debate openly, and to address our differences graciously without fear of being silenced or punished for dissenting views. I, for one, am not going to back down. My book will be published, and I will continue to represent my people of my state without fear or favor whatever the left or the corporations say. The powerful see in the present moment an opportunity to consolidate their control over society and squelch dissent. That means those who believe in the First Amendment and the fundamental principles of American liberty must now take a stand while we can. Absolutely right. Good morning, Richo. How you doing? Yeah, so there you go. I think that's a great editorial by him. Now, obviously, people are calling him the insurrectionist and seditionist for actually for taking the constitutional step that he did for opposing the electors, which he had an absolute right to do. But they are taking him to task, and some are asking to have him expelled from the Senate or censured or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes with Josh Hawley. All right, I'm just gonna go through headlines. I haven't gotten very far. I thought I'd get a lot farther today, but I have not. So let's just get into this. This is hilarious, man. This is funny too. This is another one of those ironic stories from Politico. The headline: MAGA media looks to turn White House briefing room into a battlefield. Some Trump-loving members of the press corps are eager to get access to the Biden White House. Now, how could they turn the White House briefing room into a battlefield? Isn't that an interesting concept that they've come up with here? A battlefield White House briefing room. I'm going to read you the first part of this, and I think you're going to laugh your ass off. This is as ironic as Brian Stelter talking about how, all of a sudden conservative media are turning it up to 11, 12, and 13. Have any of these idiots paid attention to the White House briefing room for the last 4 years? How antagonistic the media was? Well, here's their story. Eric Bolling, the conservative host of Sinclair Broadcast Group's America This Week, would travel regularly to Donald Trump's White House, interviewing the former president 7 times and occasionally attending press briefings. Trump's now gone, and Bolling is facing a vastly different professional landscape. Oh, yeah, sycophants in the White House press corps. Very different. Whereas as opposed to the last 4 years where the media in the White House press corps thought they were the resistance movement. Anyway, now that Trump's gone, Bolling is facing a vastly different professional landscape. The current president is not a friend. His employer dragged its feet in declaring Joe Biden the winner. And Bolling said he's concerned he could lose his regular credentials and be unable to tape from the White House. So he's taking steps to protect his standing. He recently submitted an application to become a member of the White House Correspondents Association, he said in an interview. I hope to hold this administration as accountable as the media held the Trump administration. Oh, so he, like his fellow, what's it called? Their fellow profession, wants to hold the president of the United States accountable? Huh. Trump showered his allies in the conservative media with VIP treatment, rewarding them with interviews and access, plugging their books and programs, in some cases seeking their counsel on everything from immigration policy to military airstrikes. But they're on the outside now and looking to draw blood from the new administration. You can read. I'm not even reading the rest. The point of this article is, oh no, somebody in the media wants to ask Joe Biden tough questions. How about because right now all the other reporters, the White House Press Association or whatever, Correspondents Association, are too busy giving them tongue bathing their taints, his taint. I'm sorry. I gotta stop doing that. Anyway, oh gosh. So So anyway, a lot of these the older conservative media that Trump let in, they're not letting him in. Coronavirus guidance has significantly slashed access to the briefing room, curtailed crowded meetings where full gamut of networks on the right could participate. Currently, just 14 of the briefing room's 49 seats are filled. The WHCA, which is the White House Correspondents Association, and White House both want to expand that, but have no immediate plans to do so as COVID rages. While the WHCA has moved in recent days to cycle more outlets through the briefings, Trump-aligned hosts and right-leaning reporters who didn't get into the room last week argued the current group of attendees went soft on Biden. Oh my God. You don't think they didn't? Or did? They were. Anyway, it was an embarrassment for the press corps, said Sean Spicer, host of Spicer Company on Newsmax and Trump's former White House press secretary. As evidence for his claim, Spicer, who liked bowling, has submitted paperwork to join the WHCA, pointed to the briefing room questions about the color scheme of Air Force One and Biden's mood on Inauguration Day. Yet for all his complaints, Spicer did heap praise on Psaki's performance, which several outlets compared favorably to his early outings. Now remembered for his insistence on Trump's record inauguration crowd size. Anyway, so anyway, a lot of these conservative networks want to get in there. And in fact, I don't know Steve Doocy's son, what his name is, but he did actually get in a couple. They weren't even hard questions, but boy, the new press secretary was having trouble answering the questions. But anyway, also in Politico today, some Trump's aides stuck with him till the end, and now they're screwed. The only reason some of the people who were in the Trump administration, their social credit scores have gone down below into the 400s and are probably having tough times finding jobs, at least with people outside of the Trump organization. And so that's what this article's about. And the only reason I pulled this article up is I laughed because I found it on Twitter, and this is one of those things that Jake Tapper retweeted. And Jake Tapper, you know how he's supposed to be he used to be the sensible guy, the guy that, you know, he asks tough questions from both sides, but he has just become a complete he might as well be the Democrats spokesman now. Everything he tweets and everything he says is so one-sided now, and I don't think he even has the ability to ask tough questions anymore. Also, an article on how cancel culture has come for the moderates. There's certain people having trouble because the cancel culture. The targets are usually either on the far right or the extreme far left. But there's been people getting in trouble for things they say, even if they don't mean to say them the way they do. For example, this is the dumb example. So the pressure to cancel people because they have violated vague and unpredictable norms has claimed its latest victim in Will Wilkinson. Now, this is kind of funny because this jackass. Anyway, listen to this. Who was vice president for research at the Niskanen Center, a libertarian think tank, and who tenuously remains a New York Times contributing opinion writer. His firing is particularly depressing because Niskanen has been one of the most useful resources of independent contrarian policy analysis. It was started by Cato Institute refugees who were disaffected with the Institute's dishonest climate change denial. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. They thought correctly that libertarianism, properly understood, does not allow businesses to harm others, as the fossil industry does. The fossil fuel industry. For Niskanen to join the cancellation bandwagon is a major disappointment. So here's what happened. After the inauguration, some conservative writers complained that although Biden called for unity, he proposed policies that Republicans could never agree to. Aha. Now, this writer, I don't know who this is. I don't really care. Aha. Biden proposes policies I dislike. His call for unity is a lie. Y'all, we're just going to skip that because you know what I'm thinking right now. Is all the foreign... this is Wilkinson. Wilkinson tweeted this. Aha. Biden proposes policies I dislike. His call for unity is a lie, is all the forlorn conservative mind can seem to muster. Sad, tweeted Wilkinson. Soon after, he followed up with the line that got him fired. If Biden really wanted unity, he'd lynch Mike Pence. Now, he quickly deleted that tweet and issued a policy saying, last night I made an error of judgment and tweeted this. It was sharp sarcasm, which it may have been, I know it was sarcasm, but whatever. But it looked like a call for violence because he got a suspension for violence, whatever. That's always wrong, even as a joke. It was especially wrong at the moment when unity and peace were so critical. I'm deeply sorry and vow not to repeat the mistake. He later locked his account from public viewing, but it was too late. The Niskanen Center declared, we draw the line at statements that are or can in any way be interpreted as condoning or promoting violence. As such, the Niskanen Center has, with a very heavy heart, parted ways with Will Wilkinson. Now, they give you more detail about this, and he's kind of a middle-of-the-road guy. And I agree with the basic tenet of this editorial is that I don't think he should have been fired for that. And it's easily explained. You can easily see as you go back and look at it in context that he was being sarcastic because he's saying that, because he's making a joke about the people at the Capitol who are saying lynch Pence, whatever. He was making a joke about those people, and I get it. And regardless, while I think it's abhorrent that there are people who are saying that, it doesn't matter. That should not be he should not be canceled for that. Anyway, good morning, Thomas Cleaver. How you doing? So he meant Biden should lick Pence, but autocorrect. Or sniff Pence. But anyway, but yeah, this is it's an article. This is against cancel culture. And there's people on the right who are actually who have come to Wilkinson's defense. But a lot of people out there, look, the right I don't like right-wing cancel culture any more than left-wing cancel culture, although obviously one is way more prominent than the other. So sometimes I think these people are hypocrites, but I am trying to be consistent here, and I don't think Will Wilkinson should have been fired either. Anyway, moving on. So what's left of these? Biden's busy week of there's a whole bunch of executive orders that Biden's about to put on us. Again, he's got more this whole week. If you want an update on that, there's a CNN article about that. There's a Peter Navarro. This is one, you know what? I'm going to put in the tab. Peter Navarro dropped another report on how can I say this without getting the heave-ho from YouTube? Regarding when people go to places and they check a name or they send it via postal carrier with its name checked, and how maybe that wasn't all perfectly adjudicated. There's an article about that in there with the PDF of the actual report. I'm going to leave it at that. Time magazine. What the hell did I just do? Didn't want to do that. Hang on. How President Biden handles a divided America will define his legacy. This is one of those. Joe Biden. articles about how Joe Biden's steady hand and calm demeanor will end this uncivil war. And it's just one of those. Oh, yeah. And then also, this is their cover. Day one. So much to do. He's just overwhelmed. And he's looking out the window. I wonder if this is the back picture of what he's looking out the window in that one picture that everyone uses in memes. I'm just curious. But anyway, it'll be in the tabs. Also, the guardsmen that were forced to take their break in the damn parking ramp. Now, I found out later that that's what this was. This is not where they were staying, but still, they were asked to leave the Capitol. And I see you there, Batty. Ballot casting problems. Like if you're trying to, never mind. I'm not going to say any more than that. Steady hand, that dude shakes when he talks. I found out that this was where they were forced to relocate and break. And even then, they weren't forced to stay in this parking garage. But when they said to vacate the facility and they had no place for them to go, why did you just send them back to their hotel rooms? Some of them had hotel rooms. But I guess maybe they needed them to be closer. But this is the political article on that. And just how a lot of the House and Senate members on both sides of the aisle invited a lot of those guys back into the building to chill in their offices and things like that, which I think is a good thing. I mean, at least some of them had the sense to realize that this was not a good optic, and some of them actually cared about the guys, so good for them. The articles of impeachment are going to be delivered today. We'll probably talk about that a little bit tomorrow, but yippee. Chuck Schumer said that the impeachment, the articles will be delivered today in what some constitutional law experts have said is an impossible task. Yeah, it's, you know what? They say they're trying to get this done quickly, but then does that mean they are going to have witnesses? They aren't going to have witnesses? Are they going to talk about the law? Because the way the articles of impeachment are written, or the single article of impeachment, incitement to insurrection, there's some serious legal problems with the wording of their articles of impeachment, if you know anything about the law whatsoever. And most of those idiots are lawyers. They should know better. But this is strictly a F you to Trump. This is a revenge tactic by Nancy Pelosi and perhaps Chuck Schumer, smarmy prick from New York. Anyway, also, let's see. Oh, and Biden has reinstated some COVID rules and add South Africa. So, I guess not last month, the president prior had loosened some of the travel restrictions from Brazil, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and 26 other European countries that allow travel across open borders, according to the White House. Well, Joe Biden has decided to reverse it and added South Africa because of rising COVID case numbers and the fact that many of these countries allow travel across their own borders without restrictions. So, for example, a lot of the EU countries, which, if you're interested, why he did that, I don't know. I know my wife and I are trying to plan a trip to Spain late this year. And so we're going to have to watch this shit carefully, but because we have a friend getting married in Spain. So anyway, couple articles that Gunfox gave me. Is Gunfox here? I haven't seen Gunfox today. The day that I pull a lot of his articles. By the way, there's always a ton of great articles on the Discord server. There's quite a few of you who post articles, but Gunfox is especially prolific. And I have several of the articles in the tabs today that he had put out there. Defense pick Biden. The defense guy, the guy from Raytheon that Joe Biden has chosen to be his defense secretary. seems to confirm that China might be one of our biggest problems right now. They have been, if you haven't heard, they recently said that they're going to allow some of their ships to fire on ships in disputed waters, not just fully known Chinese waters, but in disputed waters, which could cause a little bit of a problem if they actually start carrying that out. During the Senate confirmation hearing, Senator Josh Hawley pressed retired General Lloyd Austin on if he'd recognized China as the country's principal threat. He characterized China as a pacing threat and said he would update the national defense strategy to reflect that if he's confirmed. So, interesting wording there, but whatever. Finally, let's see. Fox News has an article. Obama praises Biden executive order blitz. Of course, because Obama loved him some executive orders, and it's, in a, oh, dare I say it? Dare I say it? Dictatorship? They love them some executive orders. Because Biden's had 17 within minutes of entering the Oval Office, and he's got more coming this week. Still none for any. Now, look, I say this just because I find it humorous, because supposedly black women are the only reason Biden got elected, and he still hasn't done anything for black people yet, but I don't. Not that I need him to. I'm just saying that he's that's expected, and he's done things for immigrants. He's basically, it's funny. He's done more for non-Americans than Americans. If you think about it, more than half of his executive orders benefit non-Americans, except for Canadians with that pipeline thing. But I'm just curious, although he did restrict some travel. But anyway, I digress. That article will be there. What I missed in this? Oh, there's an article about police officers who are disciplined after the rally, Capitol riot. Apparently some officers in certain states are in trouble. We're not going to get into the Star Wars controversy about this woman who has all kinds of tweets that got her into a pylon whether or not her tweets are racist, or if she can't be racist because she's black. But anyway. Oh, here's the article on Amazon trying to block voting by mail in union election, which is talk about irony. All right. So anyway, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what the rest are. There's just a ton of tabs, and maybe we'll get to them tomorrow because I'm running. Well, I am out of time here, but I would like to thank all of you who are here today. I just bit off more than I could chew. Unfortunately, I literally got through half of what I wanted to get to today, but hopefully, I've been informative and pleasant to listen to. So anyway, I gotta thank you all for being here. Before you go, there's room for likes in the like button section of the stream today. Also, please share the stream out if you're watching on replay. Put a comment in the comment section so that I know you were here. And if you'd like to donate to this cause, you can do that through Streamlabs, like many of you have, or through YouTube Super Chat or Venmo or Cashapp, which are all in the description down below. Thanks to those of you who do that on an occasional basis. I appreciate you very much. Today, Attack Alpaca, Chicago Mike, Gamer Valine, Sydney Rochelle, and Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy. Thank you for the donations today. Also, thanks for everyone who's been in the chat. And again, if you're listening on replay, I say salute you also. But I got to go. It's that time. Thanks. I posted the painting on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, you did it on Twitter too. Cool. Yeah, go check out Sydney Rochelle's painting. I'll retweet that when I get a chance. But it's time for me to go. Thanks, everybody. My name's PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Knight, and
I did it on Twitter too. Cool.
On the PDawg Knight
yeah,
channel.
go check out Cindy
If you have
Rochelle's
an
painting. I'll
observation or
retweet that
remark
when I
you'd
get
like
a
to make
chance.
about this video or
but
my
it's time
channel,
for me to go.
I absolutely
Thanks,
welcome you
everybody.
to write it
My
in
name's
the
PDawg
comment
Knight,
section down
and I'm
below.
outta here.
I really look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button.
I did it on Twitter too. Cool.
Bell, PDawg Knight
Yeah, go check out
so you'll
Cindy
be
Rochelle's
notified
painting.
when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night
Thanks,
Live,
everybody.
Monday to
My
Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central.
Sorry about that. I
Thank you
muted
to all
the wrong
supporters
line,
of this
guys.
channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Knight, and I'm out of here.